about his 6th, 9th, and 11th hour. Many stories in the Bible mention the time the events occurred, but the times reported are mentioned differently from the times we call them today. In the story of the Lord of the Vineyard in Matthew 20, we clearly see how the hours were denominated, in this case, marking the time when the owner of the field called the workers to work in the vineyard. Observe the different hours. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the 3rd hour, and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out, and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. We note, however, that the owner of the vineyard left at dawn, and called the workers at different times, such as he called them at dawn to work all day. Others were called near the 3rd hour. Others were still called near the 6th hour and the 9th hour, and the last were called at the 11th hour. There are other accounts in the Bible in Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, which mention the hours, which in this case, reported on the occasion of Jesus' crucifixion and death. Let us see. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? That is to say, My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And it was the 3rd hour, and they crucified him. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani? Which is, being interpreted, My God, why hast thou forsaken me? And Jesus cried with a loud voice, and gave up the ghost. In Luke he quotes, And it was about the 6th hour, and there was a darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And John, not unlike the others, said, And it was the preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour, and he saith unto the Jews, Behold your king. The other disciples and Jews also mentioned the hours in the same way. Let's look at Paul's account. On the morrow, as they went on their journey, and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. To understand the 1st hour, the 3rd hour and the 9th hour, we can note that the Jews had adopted the count of hours differently from many people of today. Many begin the evening count from midnight, which was already half the night, and begin the day count from noon, that was already half the day. Would this be logical? Start counting in the middle of the day and in the middle of the night? Unlike the Jews who tell the beginning of the night from sunset, how much darkness begins at night and the beginning of the day from the dawn of light. If we noticed, it would be logical to count the hours from the beginning of both day and night, right? But the Jews do this on the basis of Genesis. See. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. We notice that in the Bible the darkness or darkness is called night, and the light is called the day. Therefore, according to the account of Genesis and creation, God divided in two parts the 24 hours, in darkness and in light, that is, night and day. Therefore, at the beginning of the darkness begins the count of 12 o'clock at night, and at the beginning of the light begins the count of 12 hours of the day. This is why in one of his illustrations Jesus said, "Are there not 12 hours in the day?" John 11:9. So the beginning of the evening begins at dusk and goes until dawn, about 6 in the afternoon until about 6 in the morning. And the day begins at dawn until sunset, or about 6 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. So, at dawn, it was already called the first hour or first hour of the day. The third hour would be around 9 in the morning. It was at this hour, on the day of Pentecost, that the Holy Spirit was poured out. When the disciples were accused of being filled with sweet wine, Peter quickly put an end to this accusation. Surely no one would be drunk so soon, we see in Acts 2:13-15. We see, therefore, that the 6th hour would be around noon, where the heat and light is greater. The Bible reports that there was darkness in this time. See the text. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. Therefore, we see that this darkness occurred around the crucifixion and death of Christ, darkness and darkness in the middle of the day until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which would be the 9th hour. In the parable of the vineyard we see that the owner called workers at all times, at dawn before dawn, in the 3rd hour, at 9 o'clock in the morning, the 6th hour, and it left at noon and 3 in the afternoon, and finally called workers in the 11th hour. By the count we see that the 11th hour refers to 17 hours. Therefore, using this count of hours, we see the division of the 12 o'clock of the day that the Hebrews did, dividing in main hours. First hour at 6 o'clock in the morning. 3rd hour 9 a.m. 6th hour half a day 12 hours. 9th hour at 3 o'clock. 11th hour or 11th hour at 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. Thus, as we examine the scriptures and come across these terms of time, we will know how to match the times we have today.